Ding dong, the Doctor's dead. For all intents and purposes, we have the final ratings for the final season of the final iteration of the final New Who series. It's a very sad, but it's a very warranted conclusion to this once great, now dilapidated franchise that, I've come to really appreciate in the past couple of years, just tracking all of this stuff and just seeing what they have done to such a once beloved franchise. Well, it's still beloved, okay? I don't want to take away from any of the great material, but all of the bad stuff, like, there's obviously, very obviously more great Doctor Who content than there is really bad stuff, but the really bad stuff is like really bad and is probably worth its weight in gold. So if you want to take it on balance, there's probably more worse content, especially in these past couple of years, that have come out of Doctor Who than there is the equivalent top shelf stuff, which is wild to think about because most of the beloved franchises that are out there on just sheer raw balance, like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, DC, like you can take a look around and you could just go apples to apples comparison and go, oh yeah, far more trash than there is something quality that's out there. But Doctor Who, given the fact that it's been around since the 60s, it's it would be its 63rd anniversary this year. There have just been more competent and outright great doctors than there have been Jodie Whittakers and Ncuti Gatwas, but we can do the post-mortem when eventually we get proper confirmation that either of the broadcast partners have officially pulled out, or this series gets put on proper ice, it gets sent to hiatus, but I don't think we're ever going to get that official announcement. These ratings are just simply going to have to serve as confirmation that the series is dead in all but name. But yeah, as the series, as Series 15 kicked off with 2 million overnight. Yeah, we already knew that things were doomed, and then it would dip to 1.5 and then eventually pop back up for 1.8, and then by the end of the season, languishing at 2.17 for the sheer curiosity if this was in fact going to be the end. It's the lowest rated series finale in franchise's history. All things said and done. And now that we have the consolidated, now that we have the +4 numbers, the 3.44, it is definitively the lowest watched finale of all time. All of these numbers, depending on the date when they were first announced, were either the lowest, the second lowest, or the third lowest ratings of all time. This was, hey man, Russell T. Davies, Ncuti Gatwa, and the rest of the crew, they were aiming for a historic Doctor Who season, and hey, they definitely delivered. Just not in the way that they were hoping when everything all shook out to begin with, but now we have people combing through the ratings and really assessing how bad this season really was. How bad were the ratings for Doctor Who Series 15? What the data reveals. What do we got here? There's a ritual familiar to anyone who follows Doctor Who closely. An episode airs, the ratings come out the next day, and the internet decides the show is either saved or doomed. Well, no, that didn't used to be the thing, okay? It used to be a fairly well-performing. Hell, even when Jodie Whittaker first burst onto the scene, 1 in 3 people in the UK watched that premiere. The series was healthy, and then it got woke, and now it's dead. Every few years, someone declares the latest Doctor is killing the series. Again, that wasn't a thing at all until maybe the midway point through Capaldi. I'm sure you probably have some purists that are out there that didn't like a certain Doctor for their look. Matt Smith was too young. David Tennant, he just didn't have the ruggedness to him. What have you. I'm sure that there were critics from all sides of the aisle, but realistically, it wasn't until the first and, well, still at this point in time, the only female Doctor, because we have no goddamn idea what the hell is going on with Billie Piper. It might be, they might do a special in a year or two. Who knows? They might try to recategorize that. Maybe it's a different type of bi-generation, tri-generation, tried-again generation. Who the hell even knows at this point in time? Maybe they'll give you some definitive answers, whether or not she is the Doctor or if it's just Rose again, and try to make sense of that jangled mess. But till we get clarification on that, yeah, Jodie Whittaker was the one to really kick that off. But, and yes, they insist the show is thriving. Yeah, the other side of the the other side of the aisle was saying, no, the show's thriving. Shut up. It's just more people are watching on iPlayer. It's fine. Everything's great. Modern ways and traditional metrics simply cannot capture. Exactly. As people are sharing it on social media, and social media really actually translates into money. I mean, just take a look at what's happening with WWE right now, how it's failing, how I predicted that one on Netflix. Oh yeah, dropping a third of its audience. You have a global audience now. Everybody has access to it, but nobody's fucking watching the product. But hey, it does well on social media, guys. That's why we have a Twitter championship. Fucking pathetic. As someone who likes both Doctor Who and spreadsheets, hey man, I like this guy. I thought it might be helpful to look at the data as we have and take a step back from all the noise, how the final consolidated ratings for Series 15 are in. And I thought it would, serve to do a deep dive. All right, so what do we got here? So yeah, Christopher Eccleston, how he shook out in 2005, an average of 7.72 overnights and a 7.95, just about 8 million consolidated. Not bad for the maiden voyage. How would things go for David Tennant during his 10th Doctor era, not the cringe 14th version, but yes, 7.88 overnights and then an 8.35 consolidated. Tennant's ratings slightly improved on Eccleston's in almost every metric. All right, the show retained its Saturday night momentum and the modest growth in catch-up viewing. Yeah, gaining an additional 0.48 million viewers. So yeah, another 480,000 people tuning in. 47 episodes, a total viewership of nearly 393 million. Not bad at all. Eccleston got 100 million for his 13 episodes. Not bad at all either. In fact, quite good in the grand scheme of things. Matt Smith, okay, 6.11 million overnights and a 7.98 million overnights. So yeah, it's staying quite strong. Matt Smith's arrival marked the start of a new phase, a lower live, but stronger gains in a delayed viewing. Despite lower overnights, Smith's average total audience remained just under 8 million per episode. His 44 episode run reached nearly 350 million viewers overall, proving that the show's popularity held steady. And that was, definitely during its peak popularity, at least globally. Can't speak to the UK, but definitely in on and around the 50th anniversary. Like I said before, man, like that stuff was everywhere. If you had a nerdy friend who was willing to delve a little bit deeper than just simple Star Wars or Star Trek worship, you heard the name Doctor Who, you could recognize the face of either Tennant or Matt Smith. Those were the ones that were definitely going around at the time, or Tom Baker's trademark scarf. You knew the hallmarks. Okay. And then Peter Capaldi, 4.5 overs, 6.4 million consolidated, and people were still tuning in, even though things started to fall off precipitously about halfway through his reign. Great Doctor, great presence, but this is where things started to get shaky. Over 40 episodes, Capaldi drew more than 250 million total views. Now, while the scale was reduced from earlier years, the average per episode audience still compares favorably with many contemporary drama series. And then we got Jodie, and then there was Jodie, 4.6 overs, 6.1 consolidated. Jodie began with over 10 million consolidated viewers, but quickly settled into a much more modest average. Across 31 episodes, Whittaker reached a total of around 190 million viewers. That's wild. While the audience was smaller, she maintained a core base, and her average per episode still placed Doctor Who among BBC One's stronger dramas during her run. And then the 3 David Tennant specials, which are a bit of an aberration, but 4.84 million overnights, which is a little bit better than Jodie. Okay, consolidated average, 7.2, quite a bit better than Jodie. Okay, but that was 60th anniversary specials. That was a one-off. That was RTDs coming back, all of the hubbub of that. And then you got the giggle, and everybody went, holy fuck, do we even know how bad things are going to get? Oh, you didn't even know how bad things were going to get. But okay, and then we got, yes, of course, Ncuti, who... across 18 episodes, Gatwa's era reached a total audience of approximately 68.4 million people. Fucking oof. That is significantly down from previous eras, both in scale and consistency. Yes, with an average of overnight viewership of 2.34 million viewers and the consolidated 7 plus 4 numbers of 3.8 million viewers. Guys, it's dead, and now we're getting rumors that Disney will officially pull out of their Doctor Who deal. Though not official, numerous reports are surfacing. The Doctor Who deal with Disney Plus is dead, and that the streamer won't be financially supporting or producing Season 3. Yeah, I mean, we just went through the numbers. Is it all that shocking? Doctor Who is suffering the worst ratings in the show's 60-year history, and it's known that the series never makes the Nielsen ratings charts. To boot, Disney has been slashing budgets and reducing output for Disney Plus shows. Yo, shout out to Tony Gilroy for exposing, D Plus is broke because they understand that there's no money in streaming, and now that that's come to light, oh boy, now they're cutting costs everywhere. Strange how that happens. Which include both Marvel and Star Wars. Yeah, exactly. Oh god, can you imagine a Dave Filoni slop TV show for Star Wars with an even more reduced budget? Holy shit, like Ahsoka's a little goofy ass little head tails. Oh my god, they're gonna have like mattress stickers sticking out the side of them. That's just gonna be great. There might actually be a reason to tune in to watch that slop. But anyways, the latest comes again from YouTuber Tachyon Pulse Podcast, okay, who says, according to a source close to the production, that Disney won't be extending the Doctor Who deal, effectively ending its involvement in the series. Yeah, we've heard about this even before the debut of the second Gatwa season, where it's like Disney was unsatisfied and totally put off by the series after the abysmal first season, and they were looking for a way to get out after the conclusion of this. Halfway through what they contracted Russell T Davies to provide to begin with. So yeah, I mean, like, there's obvious opt-out provisions in a lot of contracts, so it does make sense. Okay, but going back to the quote here, I've been able to speak exclusively to an insider I've spoken to repeatedly, okay, about this, and they have confirmed that the word amongst the crew is that there is no extension to this deal. Well, yeah, exactly. There's no hint at all of continuation. Like, a season 3 renewal hasn't even been bantied about by any of the trades. Haven't heard that at all whatsoever. And Russell T Davies also pimping, oh, we have to wait until the end of the season before, that's normally how showbiz works for you plebs that are out there. All of you smooth-brained chuds, you don't understand how entertainment works. It's after the season, that's when shows end up getting renewed. Oh, it's like, okay, cool. Well, we've been done for what, 2 weeks at this point? Where's that season 3 renewal there, RTD? Okay, YouTuber adds that if Disney did go through with season 3, they would want full control over Doctor Who. He says that Disney not only wanted to pick the new showrunner, as they wanted Davies out following his woke content that tanked the series. And that's an accurate description. That's just not being hyperbolic, going, oh my god, gay black doctor, woke. No. All of the storylines were just all about degenerate social behavior, but I digress. But that Disney also wanted to pick who would be the next Doctor, which you already got a gay black one. Like, what else do you want? Gay black female? Probably. Disney were demanding more than just Russell T Davies being fired and getting a new Doctor. They were actually demanding to pick who the new showrunner would be and to pick who the Doctor would be, effectively taking control of Doctor Who. YouTuber further says Disney Plus also wanted access to the entire library of Doctor Who, primarily the Tennant and Matt Smith years, which get the views, but the rights are wrapped up internationally. Well, yeah, that totally makes sense, because at this point in time, Disney Plus and a lot of those non-Netflix streaming services, it's just simply back catalog. None of the new stuff generates any views, okay? Unless, of course, you're Taylor Sheridan for Paramount Plus. It's all old back catalog stuff. So yes, what exactly is next for Doctor Who? YouTuber adds that Sony happens to own Davies' Bad Wolf production company, so an option could be for Doctor Who to continue at Amazon. However, similar to Disney, the YouTuber claims Amazon would also want the entire Doctor Who library, but that the BBC is against the idea. So honestly, I've also heard the idea that the BBC, even without Disney's budget, yeah, they could go ahead and just continue it and just use it as a propaganda arm of the BBC and just go ahead and continue to march ahead with just lower budget, ideologically driven content. And honestly, if they're gonna do anything, like, for the health of the franchise, obviously I want it to stop, okay, because it's just ruining a lot of people's reverence for the show. But if it's gonna continue, yeah, man, slashing the budget and making it even more woke, that actually sounds like a recipe for high comedy, the likes of which the BBC have not been accustomed to in a very, very long time. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.